Hello everyone, my name is Karim Shousha. I'm senior lighting artist at Ubisoft. And today we're gonna continue on the path to how to become a lighting artist for video game. Today we're gonna talk about the light props, how you can create a light props, how to prepare your light props to be ready in games, how to add the light picking and dynamic light and make everything together in one blueprint. Because one of your tasks as a role in the lighting artist, you have to create the light props before to do anything. So what you're gonna do, the first thing you have to ask your props artist or environment artist where the light props is located. Once you have it, you can start to work on this task. And as we talked before, this has to be an L2 level. So I'm gonna show you everything here and we'll see how it works. So the first thing, let's say the light props is here, and if we took a look on the, for example, lantern, we have different light props. All right, so we're gonna take this lantern, we're gonna use this lantern to create our light props. So just double click and keep this open, and then you have to create your own folder and call it light props. All right, so once you created, now we have to take the same name of this light props. It's called SM. Usually it starts with SM. So SM underscore lantern. So I just need to remove this one. And we're gonna use the blueprint to put the light props and our lights inside this blueprint, and select actor, and from here SM underscore lantern underscore light props. All right. So double click, and now we have to locate the main light props and just drag and drop here. Okay, so now we have this light props there, but this light props is dark. So we have another material which is come with the emissive. So just drag it and drop here. So now we have this light material, but I just need to open it and fix something. But don't worry about this step. Oh, I think I remove it, but it's okay. Color. So skip this step, please. I just want to make sure that I remove the correct one. Oh, yes. But don't worry about this step, so you can ignore it. So once I save it, let's go back here and check. Okay, so now we have this nice color, not that bad. So now we're gonna create two lights. All right, one for the static light or the big light, and one for the dynamic. So let's start first with the static light. The static light, it doesn't really need to care about the range, doesn't need to change the cast shadow, so you can keep the cast shadow and keep everything. And then we're gonna refine it when we pick the light. But all we need to do to put the good temperature, let's say 4500. And here in direct light intensity, we're gonna create separate control to be control of this part, and put the volumetric scattering on 0. That's very important. And maybe we can put the value on 800 for now. All right, save, and you have to name this one point light underscore picked. And now we have to change it from movable to static because you can't pick the light if your light is in movable option. So push it to static and now save it. So now we have this light. We're gonna create another light and name this dynamic. Right, and here, yes, you can put in a stationary for sure. And here I need to turn off the cast shadow, and we're gonna use the light function or light cookies that we created before, but it's very simple material. If I open the, oh sorry, I bring this texture and create a new material and put it in light function, and then just you can put this texture and add multiply and put the intensity, and that's it. All right, and now we're gonna take this one and just put it here to give us the fake shadow that I showed you in the previous session. Here we're gonna change the radius. We need for sure to change the radius. Let's say 300, but also from here we're gonna have some parameter controls, and that's all we need for now. So keep everything the same, and that's it. So now how we can create a control for this two lights? It's very simple. If you take a look here, we have something is called construction script. Double click on this one. It's open the new layout. I'm gonna drag. Let's start first with the light picked. So drag and drop, and from here, just if you press left click, we can start to search for set intensity because we need to change the intensity. And here, right click, promote, and light picked intensity. And we're gonna put the default value, it's 5000. After that, we're gonna create another one. We need to get from here indirect light intensity, set indirect light intensity, and all we need to do just connect this one to this one, and the target has to be the same light, the same thing. Right click, new intensity, and name this picked light or light picked indirect. Indirect light, for example, right? And put this value on 1, and it's important to just turn on this. Okay, now we need to put this in the group, because if you take a look, let's drag and drop the light props that we created here in the scene. As you can see here, we have this nice light props. It's ready. We have, you see, the light picked intensity and the light pick indirect. It's visible now on the layout, but we need to put it in the separate group. So select any one of them, and here select this one and name it picked light. As you can see here, we have um, the new group. So just drag and drop here, and for sure, if you want to put this on the top, you can just drag it and drop, and that's it. If we take a look here now, we have the picked light, these two controls that we created. But if you try to change anything, there is nothing happen. Why? Because it's not connected to construction script. So it's important to connect to construction script. Now, if we change this value, it's gonna be changed, but because we have the dynamic also, so let's hide this one. And now you see we can see the control, it works. So I will keep this, it's off, or it's okay, we can turn it this on. So what we need to add also in the baked, we can add radius, light radius, and temperature if you want to add the temperature. So let's add this to control. So here set light, this one, uh, connected here, baked, light, baked, radius. And the default value, it's 800. So let's put this in 800. All right, so now we have this control, and the last one, uh, temperature, set temperature. Temperature or the color, but it's up to you. You can add the color and you can add temperature, but now let's put the temperature, and we're gonna take the same name, baked light temperature, and put the default value 6500. Okay, so now everything is ready, and all you need to do, just drag it and drop in the group. Save. If we go back, because we didn't make them visible yet, so now it's all visible. We have everything: intensity, indirect, radius, and temperature. So this for the baked. We can do the same thing with the dynamic. So for more organization, you can simply just right click and press here, collapse to function. So now we have this new function, and but just before function, and you have to name it light baked or baked light. So now it's called baked light. You can also select this and press C to put the comment and name it baked light. You can set the color. Let's say I'm gonna put blue. So I need to take the same control. So all I need to do is just copy this options without the green, because we need to create a separate one. So now we can go to the construction script again and paste it here. Right. And now we need to drag and drop the dynamic lights. You have to put the target on all of them connected. And here we gonna create here dynamic light intensity, or you can keep them just intensity, and in the end we're gonna put them in separate group. All right, so we can name it DL intensity, so for just shortcut. And here, and for sure the intensity 5000. Set indirect light intensity. In the dynamic we will not use the indirect light intensity, so we gonna remove this one, and I'm gonna take this and put it here. So we're gonna name it L1 radius, and put this value on 800 or 1000. This is the default value because in the end we're gonna change the value. But for the dynamic, as a because we created the what's called the light props, we can just put in a small radius, let's say 400 or 500 max, and turn this on. And the last one is temperature, DL temperature, and here 6500. But because we create the light props and we have to set up the default light, so I will put 400 5000, and make sure also here it's 400 4500. Right, so now we need to put this in the group. So we create a new group, let's say DL lights, and now drag and drop this here. So intensity, radius, and then temperature, all is on. If we go back here, we have the baked light and we have the dynamic light is ready. All right, so if we start to test it here, nothing gonna be changed. Why? Because we didn't connect it to this one. So now we can select this, right click and name it DL light here, and again here dynamic light. It's very important to have more organization of your blueprint, because maybe other lighter they need to edit or to do anything. So just make sure your blueprint is professional, using the professional way. Right, so save. Now our light props is ready. So if I need to change the radius, the radius is ready. For sure, there's one more thing. It's light function, because we're gonna have a difference of light cookies. So it's also important to set material, light function material, and connect it with this one. And here right click, promote, and move it here, light function material, or we can name it light cookies. Light cookies, and just drag and drop the default material that we added, and you can for sure change it after. So now this light, it's 100% ready to use. So we have this radius, so I can change the radius, right? And we can change the temperature, we can change the intensity, and everything is ready. So now I need to test this light props and see if it's really works within the game performance or not. Okay, so I created already a small scene, but what you can do, you can copy, for example, this house and create a new level. If we go back here, the level, I create this level and just paste it here, and we're gonna put our light props here. So I just need to remove anything in this light. So light props, and Now we're gonna drag and drop this one here. Remove also direction light. So now we need to test it. Okay. So to use the big light option, we have you have to change some setting in your project setting. So the first thing, you have to go to the plugin and search for light mass and turn on GPU light mass, because we're gonna use GPU light mass for picked. Also, you have to open project setting and search for virtual texture, and make sure that you enabled visual texture support, and it's very important to enable visual texture light mass. All right. Also, you have to search for static lights. You will see it's turned off automatically, but you have to turn this on to allow static light and use normal map for static light. And additional option, you can search for lumen, and you can change dynamic global light to none or screen space, but this additional option. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, create post processing and go to the lumen and make sure you use screen space or none, but I'm gonna use the screen space for now because I don't want to use lumen anymore. We're gonna use the baked light option, and for sure you have to restart your engine after you select this option. It's gonna ask you for restarting. Okay, so before we test the lights, you have to add the skylight to test your environment, because it's a very step to have a nice bounced light in your scene, to have the skylight. But let's say you just need to test this light without to add any skylight. So here we gonna go to the option, and we have the light picked in direct. So maybe let's put this on 2, and the intensity is 5000. That's fine. I will put this on 0 for now. All right, so I just need to see how it's gonna looks with the picked. And because the radius is too big, I don't want this much of radius, so we can put this radius. I think that should be fine, and everything it's good. So you have to go to the build and open GPU light mass. We will keep everything here, light mass compressed, that's fine. We keep it like this, and turn off the real-time viewport and press build. Boom. As you can see here, if we remove this light or move it anywhere, we have the light picked. It works. So now it depends. You can say, okay, this amount of light, it's too much. So you can go back to your light and put the picked indirect on 1, and maybe this 2500. Why we use the big light? To add some bounced light to help the dynamic light to not be fully dark. Okay, so let's make another test. And yes, that compared to the light props, I think the radius and the light picked looks fine. So now let's put this value on 5000, and here I'm gonna change the radius. So let's put the radius, it's up to you. You can put very small radius to let the player, when he get close to the light props, he can see the lights. And if you remember in the previous session, I talked about the max distance. So put this 2500 and this 500. Or you can even create additional controls for this option. All right, and let's go back. And here you can change the temperature, you can change the intensity. It's up to you. So let's put this on 4000. And now if we put this character in third person, that's all you need. You see, we have this nice light picked, and when the player comes close to the light props, it's interact with the character because we it has to be interact with the character. All right, for sure we can create a control to make this lantern has some light flickering, but you see the light, it looks very nice. Is not the shadow, for sure it has to be more accurate, but overall it looks fine. So you can maybe move the shadow or rotate the light a little bit to have maybe something like this. You see, so we can create different textures, but it's okay, we can keep it like this now. All right, so that's all you need to do in light props. If you create this one, so you success. So now you achieve your goal as a lighting artist this in L2 task. So you create the light props, you create a controls, parameter controls, you create the picked light and dynamic light, and this light can be ready and put it everywhere. So I can take this light, if you switch to the lit and put this here, and boom, open here and turn off the real time. So now if we take a look here, what's wrong? Oh, there's something's wrong here. Oops. I just take this light. I copy it from here, but I need to copy the main one. You're gonna see some flickering because the real-time viewport is on. So, but if you turn this off, oh, still flickering, but it's okay. There's no big deal. So pick light again to see how it's gonna look. So boom, we have this nice. You see the difference between before and after? It was very dark. Even when we have, so I just need to show you something. Let's pick this one. Okay, so now everything is dark, right? So this is why you have to add the baked light. So now here, this area, it's completely dark. It's not real, right? So, but after the baked light, we have this nice option. But because we just drag it and drop here, and you can take this one because we set the intensity and everything. And by the way, this intensity has to be as a default. So what you can do, I can open the blueprint and go to the control for the light picked, and let's see what I did here. Here the light picked intensity, we're gonna change to 2500, and the light radius, let's put this on 300. So we can copy the same radius here, 300, and saved, and that's it. So now if I take the original entity or the original light props, it will give me the same result everywhere. So let's go back and build light. Boom, we have this nice light. So for sure, the dynamic light, sometimes you need to change maybe the shadow. You can create a control for the scale, texture scale, because it has to be changed sometimes for sure. So you can use, for example, this like this one, and we can go back. You have to change the radius. So I will put this 3000. And yes, don't forget to change in the dynamic light also. Once you feel the radius and everything is correct. So let's put this in 150. Open again the blueprint, go to dynamic radius and set this 150, and the radius, let's put this in 4000. So now with this default value, we can pick the light, and if we play the game, just put this here, so it's gonna give us the same result, right? So that's all you need. uh, let's say you need to bring more light here in this room, so it's very simple. You can go to the big light, and in the radius you can add to extend the radius, and the indirect light, say let's add 3, and if we pick the light again, this room is gonna be more visible. For sure, it depends on your in your maps. Sometimes it's gonna take more time. You see here, there is this radius. It's too sharp. Oh, sorry. You see this radius is too sharp, so we need to add more indirect light to this room. So what I'm gonna do, just make sure I am in picked and put this on 10, and let's try one more time. Okay, so I need to put this value on 0. Oh yeah, if we change to the light density, this not your job, but you see here the light. There's something is called light map light map density, so it has to be fixed by the environment artist. Okay, so that's why we don't have much lights on this area, but we have nice light there. All right, but if everything is correct, you will get nice lights. If we go here and check this one, you see we have this light intensity, but again is not correct. But once you fix this, you will have better uh, better result for sure. Okay, so we don't need to waste more time. So now it's very important to know, whenever you want the light pick to be effect, you have to put it in static, even the skylight. So if I drag and drop the skylights, or let's say the HDRI, and put this 5000, 100. And the skylight, I will switch to static and put this value on 10. And I'm gonna use the same. Okay, so I just need to use one and make sure this static. And once we picked, oh, sorry, we don't use the normal picked lights. Okay, I'm sorry. So the engine back to work. So turn off this one and use the picked light. And as you can see here, now the skylight is reflect on the environment, but we can put the intensity, let's say 0.3, and maybe we need to have this night mode. So I change the color to be blue. Let's put again on 1. So yeah, on 1 it's fine. So we have this light picked from the skylight. It's the same thing if you put the direction light, but for sure the direction light has to stay in the dynamic. So just keep it as a dynamic. All right. So now there is one more thing in the light picked, because we also use in light mode for use the emissive light as a light source, because sometimes you need to add some neon light and to have some different light variation. So you can simply for sure use uh, the emissive light. So how you can use the emissive light, I'm gonna remove this for now, I don't need it. So let's create very quickly slender and put this value 0 0.1, 0 0.1, and this 3 maybe. Right, and I'm gonna put this here. And now you have to create a new material and name it emissive. I just to add different name because I already have the emissive material. And from here we just need to use um, unlet. No, we can keep it as a default. That's fine. Press 3 and put here emissive color and right click emissive. We're gonna put the light on the, for example, bluish, and put the value on 20 and just save it. Right click, create an instance. And from here, I will just assign to this light. So this light now is ready to picked, but it will not affect when we picked. Why? Because you have to turn on, go double click on the instance one and go to the light mask setting and emissive, turn on emissive post and diffuse post. Let's put this value on 10 and 10. And now if we, sorry, if we go back to the build lighting and press here, you see now we have this very nice blending light between the blue and the yellow. So if we remove this, the light will be exist. So that's very easily, this is how easily you can put the light props, the light emissive light picked. So now I can put this one, uh, maybe two of them. If we build again, so here you save light, right? So you save some light, so you can just put on top of them, because let's play the game. Oh, really? It's reflected, so it looks nice, but maybe you need additional lights. So we can add rectangle lights to put on the top to give some nice reflection, and put the same color, change the radius, and for sure the shadow. But to have a nice shadow, put spotlight instead of the use the rectangle light. So now we have this nice light, right? But as I mentioned, if you need to use a shadow, so you can simply use this one. If you play Hitman, you will feel that they use a lot of the spotlights to have nice shadow. So now if we go in, we have this shadow, it works, everything looks fine. So boom, we have this light. So that's it. So if you finish this task, that I can say congratulations, you understand what you have to do as L2. So we create a light props, we create a control in the blueprint, we prepare the light props to be ready to use in your games. We tested the light picked because it's important, very important to test it in your game. We put the correct value, we have nice control, we put the correct naming convention, we put it in the correct folder, and that's all you need to do. I hope you enjoyed with this video. Please don't forget to leave your comment, share this video, and just wait for the next session. Next session we're gonna talk more about the light groups, how we can put the light props into the groups to create nice composition, and how we can use it in the games, and to how to use this light to navigate the player to lead the player to go some places that you really need the player to go there. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for your comments. Don't forget to leave your feedback, and see you in next video. Thank you. Bye.